born out of matter gives the human form the illusion of existential truths. This is what is known as reality. The truth is, reality exists on an infinite expanse of permutations. Come explore another reality. The year is 2024. Mike Meyer is at his home in Park Ridge, Illinois, thinking about Winona Ryder. He had just seen Beetlejuice at the Pickwick Theater in Park Ridge and was truly impressed with it. He knows that his predestined and preordained lover is Winona Ryder, and he must find a way to meet her to fulfill his destiny. Suddenly, an idea comes to him. If he could travel back in time back to the year 1984, he can contact Winona Ryder on an esoteric level. He's walking around Park Ridge on a sunny day in June when he sees something quite extraordinary. There's a flickering and pulsating multicolored essence right before him on the sidewalk on Cedar Avenue. Should he walk into it? He decides to walk into it. When he does so, he finds himself on the same street, but in the year 1984. Now that he is in the year 1984, he has a plan to contact Winona Ryder on an esoteric level. Oh, hi, Marceline. If he hires a projectionist at the Pickwick Theater, he knows a way to contact her through film. He goes to the Pickwick and is interviewed by a woman named Claire. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Claire. Hi, Claire. I'm Mike. I'm looking to be hired as a new projectionist. You're hired. I'm hired. That was easy. I know a good projectionist when I see one. Don't worry, Claire. I won't disappoint you. I'm sure you won't. Let me show you the projection booth. Claire brings Mike to the projection booth. Thanks for the thumbs up. And I hope you also subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is my science fiction type show called Another Reality. Okay. Wow, this is cool. A projection booth is one of those neat places in life. It's a place where an individual can find solitude while at the same time presenting an audience with a movie. It's just you, a roll of film that may or may not contain cinematic gold. Oh, hi, Von and Durkos Fault. Hi. Oh, thanks for joining me, people. This is Another Reality. I hope you all subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is a science fiction type show that I wrote. Okay. A room where you can find solace and let your mind wander, and an eager audience waiting in anticipation for what they hope is going to be a cinematic experience that they will remember for the rest of their lives. Hope you stay in good health. You too. Your name is Mark. Thanks. And okay. You see all that? All I see is a room desperately in need of modernization. When do I start? Right now. Right. Claire leaves the room. There's a box of film reels on the floor. One of the films is Casablanca. Thanks for joining me, people. I hope you have subscribed to my YouTube channel. Hi, Art and Amy. And then you've got a bunch of people. Okay. Mike puts a film on the reel and decides to play it. on the screen. In exact tandem with Mike's playing of the film in the Pickwick Theater, Winona Ryder is in her backyard in Petaluma, California, watching the film in her backyard with her family on a sheet that they set up as a screen. What she sees is Mike Meyer in the projection booth in the Pickwick Theater. What Mike sees on the screen in the Pickwick Theater is Winona Ryder in her backyard in Petaluma, California. This is a chance for Mike to fulfill his destiny. He must now find a way to enter the film. He shuts off the movie and leaves. He had a wonderful evening. Meanwhile, Winona Ryder and her family had been observing Mike in the projection booth instead of Casablanca. Thanks. I hope y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel. So we got somebody named Death God. Can you sing Thunderstruck by AC/DC? I'm going to be doing a live performance next Wednesday, and I can look that song up and play it next Wednesday morning. Okay. Did you watch that reel before, Michael? Yes, I did, I swear. It was the film Casablanca. I watched it too. It was Casablanca. Why don't you put it on again? Sure, Michael puts out the film again. And sure enough, the film that they are watching is Casablanca. Wow. Just as I thought. The movie you were watching is Casablanca. Maybe it's synchronicity. Synchronicity? Yes, synchronicity. A synchronous event is one that happens in the fulfillment of some future need. Future need? What future need? I don't know yet. Maybe this future need is something that can only be filled by whoever that guy was in the projection booth. That's very insightful. Winona, you've been reading about synchronicity. I'm well aware of synchronicity and its applications in the world. I'm glad to see that our raising you as a free-spirited, free-thinking, free-associating, and free-interacting person has resulted in the development of a young lady with the capacity to not only engage in fully rational scientific inquiry and discourse, but also the ability to see higher order realities that are beyond the rationalization that require acutely developed peripheral senses to see and know of. That's exactly it. Now we just need to figure out who that guy is and where he is from. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Do you have any idea on how to figure out who he is? If he appears on the reel again, we could start with clues about the room he is in. We're going to have to examine it very closely. Yeah, I was thinking that same thing. Let's just enjoy the rest of the evening. Sure. They had a wonderful evening. Mike is at the Pickwick Theater the following evening for a 7 p.m. showing of Casablanca. Well, at 5 p.m. Pacific time, Winona and her family are planning to watch Casablanca in their backyard. So 5 p.m. Pacific time arrives in tandem with 7 p.m. Central time, and Casablanca starts. Again, it is not Casablanca that appears either at the Pickwick Theater in their backyard, but images of each other. Thanks for joining me. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Mike sees Michael, Winona, and Cynthia in their backyard in the on the screen at the Pickwick Theater. And they see him in the projection booth. Now is our chance to see if we could see anything in the projection booth that would provide any clue as to where he is. Do you see anything, Cynthia? No, do you? Wait a minute, I do. I do see something. Do you see the green velvet blazer that Mike is wearing? Yes, I see it. What about it? That's my blazer. It is? How do you know? Because it is the only one of its kind in the world. Do you see the purple satin lapels on the blazer? Yeah. That's the only green velvet blazer with purple satin lapels in the world. Why is he wearing it? Let me answer that question by explaining something. Many years ago, I was in Illinois roaming around the northwest suburbs of Chicago. I was wearing the blazer and decided to take it off and have it wrapped. I took it to a random house on the northwest side of Chicago and placed it on somebody's front porch. I thought that whoever got it would be gifted with something unique and special that they could cherish. That's the guy who got it. That's a pretty good clue. So maybe he's in a movie theater either on the northwest side of Chicago or in the Chicago northwest suburbs. Do you want to take a road trip there to see if we could find him? Sure, they continue to talk about the situation. They had a wonderful evening. Mike Venona and Cynthia got in their car the next morning. Thanks for joining me. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. A 1974 green Pinto to take a road trip to Route 66 to see if they could find the person who claimed the blazer, or sport coat, as you may want to refer to it as. It's really intriguing that the guy in the projection booth was wearing the blazer that you left in a gift-wrapped box on somebody's porch. Thanks for the thumbs up. Okay. I just had this undeniable urge to gift somebody with that blazer. It was as if I felt as though my gifting the blazer to somebody random would not indeed be a random gifting of the blazer, but a gifting of the blazer that would result in a synchronicity of events that the fulfillment of which would be a serendipitous meeting. If the New Age and mystical concepts that you write about are in some ways plausible, maybe you're onto something. Yeah, the green Pinto continues to cruise the iconic Route 66 while the Horowitz family continue to talk. As they were talking, something obviously quite unexpected happened. Morning turned to night in a split second. They found themselves hovering above a roadside diner. In the Pinto, they looked down at the diner. And it seemed to be occupied by people who spoke a strange language that none of them were familiar with. Thanks for joining me. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's also some kind of transcendent music playing at an extremely loud volume inside of it. The car doors were thrown wide open by some force as Winona, Michael, and Cynthia floated out of the car and didn't fall to the ground, but descended to it. slowly, as if by some unseen force. When they landed, they looked into the diner and saw some of the weirdest looking beings in there, obviously from another planet, and heard some of the most otherworldly, postmodern, avant garde, bizarre, innovative, transcendent, inventive, and intriguing music they had ever heard, that was composed of an arrangement of sounds that have never been heard on planet Earth and must have been cultivated from another planet. It was the most beautiful thing that any of them had ever heard. Thanks for joining me. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, people. What they saw when they looked inside was both hopeful and disturbing. The aliens were placing human beings from planet Earth into translucent pods. The people trapped in these pods had surprised looks on their faces and were in a state of suspended animation. The aliens have access to forces both physical and metaphysical that enable them to interrupt a person's life temporarily. Michael and Cynthia, in a state of puzzlement, begin to discuss the situation. This is very intriguing. I wonder what the aliens have these people trapped in the pods in a state of terror. It is, wait a minute. State of suspended animation. I don't know. Do you have the courage to walk in there? Let's go for it. They walked in there. The aliens are abruptly stopped. The aliens all abruptly stopped what they were doing and simultaneously looked at them through almond-shaped black eyes with hypnotizing stares. One of them, Kando, began speaking. I am Kando from planet Jandankyu. What brings you here? Hi, Kando. You know, it's amazing that an alien from planet Jandankyu, is able to speak English. All of the inhabitants of my planet are born with an encyclopedic knowledge of the languages, customs, and religions of the people on planet Earth. So what brings you here? We were on our way to the Chicago area to try to find a guy in a projection booth at a movie theater who may have a serendipitous connection to us. There's more to it than that, if you want to hear it. No, I get the point. Okay, let me explain. These people trapped in the pods work at novelty gift shops in Area 51. We trapped them to bring them back to our planet. For what reasons do you want to bring people that work at gift shops in Area 51 back to your planet? You'll have to figure that out. What do they sell there? Alien stuff. Alien figurines. Alien dolls. Pictures of alien abductions. Alien costumes. Alien pinball machines. Alien hoodies. Alien movies. Alien beach towels. Alien masks. Say no more, Kando. Michael and Cynthia ran back out to their Pinto and drove off. As they were driving off in their Pinto, They saw something very unusual on the side of the road. It was a guy in a green and purple blazer having a showdown with some aliens on the side of the road. Thanks for joining me. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. People. It looked like the green and purple blazer that Michael had left on a random porch in the Chicago suburbs years ago. As a matter of fact, he was almost sure it was. Look at those aliens having a showdown with the guy in the blazer. That looks exactly like the blazer I bequested to somebody in the suburbs of Chicago years ago. I wonder if that's the guy in the projection booth. It sure could be. Mike and the aliens were giving each other mesmerizing stares. The fight that they were having was strictly fought with powers of the mental and supernatural. They could communicate with each other through gamma rays and suspend each other in precarious positions through telekinesis. Mike and the alien suspended several feet above the ground. Michael walks up to him. Hello, my name is Michael Horowitz. This is my wife, Cynthia. I couldn't help but notice your blazer. It's green velvet with purple satin lapels. The only one of its kind in the world. This jacket? Yeah, I found it on my front porch years ago. It's more than an ordinary blazer. When I wear it, not only do I feel a transcendent love for Winona Ryder that places my soul on a plane of existence where spiritual pleasures can be felt that are so acute they can only be experienced by souls of predestined love, but have supernatural powers. Wow. I think it's time to meet your daughter. Yes, it is. Let's go. Mike gets into Michael and Cynthia's car onto Route 66 on their way to west of Petaluma, California. I love this jacket. When I found it on my doorstep years ago, I found it quite beautiful. And when I tried it on, I could feel my enhanced supernatural powers. Yeah, it's quite a jacket. I'm so excited to meet your daughter, Mr. and Mrs. Horowitz. By the way, I read in a biography about Winona Ryder that you are both writers. That's correct. Yes, I'd like to read some of your books. I'm attracted to any literature that explores the life of the human mind and higher order levels of consciousness that transcend the type of consciousness that people are in everyday life, trying to find meaning in life, transcends possibilities. The search for the divine, not so much in the form of a god or a goddess, but a transformative power that generates these cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, and the search for a love so profound that the consummation of which confers immortality to both lovers are my biggest pursuits. So yeah, I would love to read your books. That's what your daughter is a beauty. I fell in love with her watching Heathers. There's something I could see in her eyes that fulfills my mortal desires and seeds my desire for immortality. I want to live immortally. on a plane of pure pleasures and transcendent beauty. These pleasures I speak of can't be felt here in concrete reality. And these beauties I speak of can't be seen anywhere in concrete reality. Wow, it sounds like you really do love our daughter. That's an understatement, Mrs. Horowitz. Would you guys like to stop for roadside tacos? They're at Maria's Roadside Tacos. Sure. Mike, Michael, and Cynthia pulled into the parking lot of Maria's Roadside Tacos. They went and they looked inside. It was all aliens. It's all aliens in there. Let's go somewhere else. I've seen enough aliens for a while. Wait a minute. I hope there's not some alien plan drawn up by aliens from another planet to take over planet Earth. Yeah, let's hope not. Let's find some other place. They drove off and had a wonderful afternoon. The next day arrived, and Mike, Michael, and Cynthia drove further east until they reached the town of Park Ridge, Illinois. They looked out the window and saw the Pickwick Theater. This is the theater where I saw you in your backyard from the projection booth. I put on Casablanca instead, and instead saw your family in your backyard. Yeah, we put on Casablanca and instead found you in the projection booth. That's really surreal. Mike gets out of the car. I'll see you people some other time. Are you going so soon? I'm meeting Winona in the projection booth. I found her with some of her friends in town. I told her the whole situation and she wants to meet me. That's wonderful, Mike. We're glad you finally met our daughter. I'll see you later, Mr. and Mrs. Horowitz. Bye, Mike. Mike walks into the theater and into the projection booth. He finds Winona sitting at a desk ready to greet him. Hi, Mike. Hi, Winona, my preordained and predestined lover. You look happy. Here before my very eyes is a physical manifestation of all my hopes and dreams. I've been waiting for you so very long, Winona. To finally see you in the person, in the flesh, gives me a feeling of mirth that transcends anything I've ever felt. It's great to see you, Mike. I feel the same way. Let's make Heather's too and premiere it here in the Pickwick Theater. Yes, I want to. Mike would have done a kiss there in the projection booth and talked into the evening. They had a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining me. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, people. Mike and Winona drove off to the night onto Route 66 that night and decided to go out to San Francisco. Somewhere in the middle of Iowa, they saw a strange sight in the night. For a brief solitary moment, a period of time that was barely conceivable, a giant crater seemed to emerge on the side of the road, from which emerged tiny denizens of a civilization that inhabited society around the Earth's core. They stared at them with penetrating light green eyes and communicated to them in a nonverbal language that both could that both could understand that a transformative time is coming that will bring new meaning to the nature of existence and our relations to planets, to aliens from other planets. You saw that too, right? How could I miss it? It happened so fast. You got the message? Yes. What message did you get? That a new time is coming that will bring new meaning to the nature of human existence and our relationship to aliens from other planets? Yeah, that's the message that I got. Oh, hi, Rhea Botaniger. Um, okay. That's quite trippy. Let's just drive off and enjoy this evening, this beautiful Iowa evening. Yeah, let's. The future is ours. Yes, it is. Mike and Winona drove off and had a wonderful evening. It was a beautiful evening, so they decided to camp out that evening. It was warm enough to sleep beneath the cosmos in sleeping bags. As they were lying beside each other, looking up at a night sky full of dazzling constellations, Mike turned to Winona to speak. I'm so excited to see your hometown of Petaluma, California, the place where a cinematic goddess spent her formative years. Can't wait to show it to you. Petaluma, California is a place that I have never seen with my own eyes, but have mythologized in my imaginings of it. Thanks for joining me. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, people. When I first arrived there, it will be as a sort of native who has always been there on an esoteric level. And indeed, as a native who roams the landscapes on a parallel level of existence. Yeah, they made love that night and got up the next day and continued driving. They had a wonderful morning. When they got up the next morning, they immediately got in the car and drove off. This is the conversation that they had in the car. Would you like to get some coffee and donuts? Sure. I know a place in Boulder, Colorado called Penelope's Donuts. Let's go. They arrived at Penelope's Donuts, a quaint and charming donut shop with a gorgeous view of the snow-capped mountains of Colorado. Inside there is a donut bar and a selection of coffees from around the world, and indeed the galaxy. They found a seat at a table at the bar where Penelope took their order. Good morning, people. You must be new here. How can I help you? We would both like a cup of coffee and a donut. What kind of coffee? What kind would you recommend? We have coffees from around the world, but I would especially recommend Lunar Lucy's hazelnut roast, harvested from beans grown in the rainforests of Planet Quotidian. Planet Quotidian? Where is that? Planet Quotidian is a planet in the Milky Way galaxy. It's one of a bunch of new planets discovered by astrophysicists. They can't yet be seen, but they know that they are there because they can see the gravitational lensing that they cause for the star that they orbit. Oh, that's so exciting. I'll have a cup of coffee. I'll have a cup of that. What kind of donut? Glazed. I'll have exactly the same order. Coming right up. As Penelope went to get their coffee, the denizens from the Earth's core appeared to them for a moment and then vanished. They stared an intense stare at them while they were there. There was something sinister in their eyes. That was something. Yeah, Penelope brought out their coffee and donuts. They finished it and had a wonderful afternoon. They slept out into the cosmos in sleeping bags that evening. They got up early at around 7 a.m. in that beautiful morning. Good morning, my love. Good morning. We're only a few miles away from Petaluma. I say we make a long haul so we can get there before noon and have a nice breakfast at a local nook. I'm for that. Are you concerned about the denizens of the underground? Not at all. If they terrorize us with their terror eyes, again, I'll take them down, believe me. You sound very confident in that. Let's go. Mike and Winona drove off and arrived at Petaluma at 11:07 in the morning. Mike felt almost overwhelmed by the beauty and charm of the place. As they drove around town, he admired what he saw there. There was a very uplifting vibe coming from this town with its small town hospitality and friendly people, situated in a place near the most beautiful city in the country. This place is a revelation to me. This is the place where my beautiful Winona grew up and became the stellar human being she is. I'm delighted to be able to show you around town. Let's start at a breakfast nook. They go to Penelope's Diner. Sure, take me there. They arrived at Penelope's Diner and parked the car right in front of the place. Here we are. Let's go inside. Yeah, I want to check this place out. They get inside and sit at a table in front of the window where they can look out at people. Oh, here comes Penelope, the waitress. Hi, people. What will it be? Give me the French toast and a cup of Penelope's best coffee. All the same. Coming right up. Wow. This is it. I've imagined this place often. To be in the town with you where you grew up is not only surreal, it is the culmination of some of my most profound hopes and desires. My soul is quite happy. I'm happy to hear that. Let's walk around town later. Sure. Mike and Winona ate breakfast and walked around town. They had a wonderful afternoon. The evening arrived and they decided to drive into the city. They parked on a street called Oceanside Avenue and got out of the car. It was a beautiful evening with the sun setting over the Golden Gate Bridge and the Pacific Ocean enlivened by a gentle breeze. By the time they walked to the Golden Gate Bridge, it was dark, and the moon had risen, large in appearance due to its proximity to the horizon. We've got a beautiful full moon tonight. I've never seen it so big. To be with you standing beneath the Golden Gate Bridge in such a beautiful night with a moon looking so big is the complete fulfillment of what I've dreamed about for years. Oh, the fantasies I've had about kissing you on a beautiful summer evening beneath the Golden Gate Bridge with the full moon above us and feeling a love for you that brings my soul to a place of transcendence. It immerses me into the most profound of beauty. Kiss me. This is the moment I've been waiting for, they kissed. They slept in sleeping bags beneath the Golden Gate Bridge that night. They got up the next day to drive to the city. They walked around in a wonderful afternoon. That evening, they went to a bookstore on Union Street called Bay City Book Place. It's a bookstore that features books on psychic phenomena and mysticism in addition to best-selling novels. When they walk in through the front door of the store, a very pleasant-sounding bell rings. They are greeted by a tall, curvaceous woman with dark hair and generous amounts of black eyeshadow, framing her penetrating green eyes. Her name is Constance. Good evening. To which psychic vibrations are you attuned this evening? I'm here to peruse books on mysticism. I'm here to look through books about psychic dreaming. Psychic dreaming? What piques your interest in that? Years ago, I had a psychic dream. I was scheduled to take a flight from San Francisco to New York. I had my ticket. It was ready to go. When I went to bed the night before, I had a dream that the plane that I was going to be on crashed into the side of a mountain. Based on the dream, I decided not to go. Somebody named Bubba Smith. Oh, hi, what's up? It's my show, Another Reality. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks. I was glad I made that decision. The plane indeed crashed into the side of a mountain. That's the purpose of a psychic dream. It's interesting to hear the story of a person like you who had a psychic dream and was able to use the information from it for your own safety. Why do you want to peruse books on mysticism? I've always been fascinated with transcendence, transcendent mental states. Mundane reality is strictly a foundation from which humanity was meant to advance into higher levels of consciousness and meaning, wherein the true essence of love and beauty is revealed. I have this book about astral projection written by Michael Horowitz. Michael Horowitz? That's Winona's dad. Let me see that. Cool. Astral Projection by Michael Horowitz. I'll take it. Winona is looking through a book on telekinesis by Deborah Henderson. The book speaks of a cult of denizens from the underground with telekinetic powers. Sounds remarkably like the denizens that they saw. They look out the window and see the denizens in the street. They seem to be moving cars and people telekinetically along the sidewalks and streets. They then scurry away. Did you see that? Yeah, so did I. I'll buy it. Let's take a walk and enjoy the evening, sure. Bye. It was nice to meet you. Bye. It was nice to meet you. Bye. Have a nice day. Thanks. Thanks. They take a walk around San Francisco on a terrific evening. The next morning arrives, and they get up early to take a walk along the ocean. It was a warm and breezy late June morning. Whose shimmering beauty enveloped their souls. It was a moment to be cherished. Wow, those denizens that we saw seem to be some kind of mythological creatures. Yeah, let's take a look at the book about them. Winona pulls the book Underground Denizens out of their purse and they read through it. It says here that they each have a counterpart who lives on the astral plane. Yeah, it also says that most of them are good, but some are evil. Wow. They lived on an Earth-like planet 10 billion years ago. The planet was bombarded by asteroids. The denizens were among the few sentient entities on the planet that had such an acute mystical connection to the cosmos that they knew of the imminent asteroid strike before it happened. They built spaceships that took them to planet Earth to find a safe haven as their planet was demolished. Now, here they are. Let's not worry about it for now. Let's just walk around and enjoy the evening. Yeah, let's enjoy the morning. They walked along the ocean, feeling the immortal love they had for each other, which brought meaning and beauty to an otherwise meaningless human existence in a vast universe. They had a wonderful morning. They had lunch at Penelope's Diner that afternoon and talked so much they stayed for dinner, too. In the evening, they decided to walk along the ocean again to have a deep conversation. It was a full moon, and there was a warm breeze blowing on them. It was somewhat intense but invigorating. The sky was full of stars. Look at the Big Dipper tonight. I see it. You could see it. Can you feel it? Yeah, so can I. Remember this moment. We are both looking at the Big Dipper, admiring its beauty. If at some point in the future we are torn apart, the Big Dipper, as you are looking at it, will take on a new meaning and significance. Don't even speculate that we would ever be torn apart. Let's see to it that that never happens. I want to always look at the Big Dipper with you, with a feeling of unbridled joy, mirth, and love, and never a feeling of profound heartbreak. I couldn't agree more. What do you think the fate of mankind is? Let's face it, we're screwed. There's too many problems in the world. This planet is not going to survive too far in the future. No, we're not going to survive too in the future. There is an asteroid currently on a collision course with the Earth. It'll be here in 7 years. How do you know this? As a hobby, I've been practicing astronomy for my home. I've devised a telescope more powerful than the Webb telescope at NASA. I've spotted an asteroid in the asteroid belt that is on its way here also. I've performed all the necessary calculations factoring in gravitational forces among planets and other stellar objects, and have concluded with almost complete certainty that the asteroid is going to strike the Earth in 7 years. That's devastating. Yeah. Have you informed anybody other than me about this? No, there's really nothing that can be done about it. That is, nothing anybody else can do about it. There's something we can do about it. We need to get in touch with the denizens of the underground. They are Type 3 civilization, with the capabilities to harness the power of the entire Milky Way galaxy. That's how they could so easily travel from planet to planet in the Milky Way galaxy, and assimilate and survive on each planet. That's good. We must contact them. For now, let's just enjoy the adrenaline rush of living on a doomed planet. Another option would be to just stay here on Earth. I would like to make love to you at the moment the asteroid hits the Earth. I find it very romantic to die in the arms of your lover. As romantic as that is, I want to live on into the future and make love on other planets. Okay, then we must contact the underground denizens. We can do that soon. For now, let's just enjoy the evening. Yeah, let's. And just enjoy the evening. Mike and Winona walked along the ocean that evening, that wonderful evening. They got up the next morning to take a walk along the ocean. It was beautiful and breezy morning under a blue sky. It's fortunate for us that we can migrate to another planet, but what about everybody else? They are wandering around not even knowing that they're on a doomed planet. Yeah, that's quite a dire situation. I wish there was something we'd do for them. I wish that too. Should we tell people that they are doomed? I've been thinking about that for a while. If you only had 7 years on this planet before it was struck by an asteroid, what would you okay. If you only had 7 years on this planet before it was struck by an asteroid, would you want to know? That's a deep question. They say that ignorance is bliss, but knowledge is power. In this case, however, there's nothing they can do about the imminent asteroid strike. All things considered, however, I think I would want to know. So would I. The next question I have it pertains to our future. Would you rather we made love at the moment that the asteroid strikes the Earth, or travel to another planet before that happens? I find the idea of making love with you at the moment of impact very romantic, but also terrifying. I might want to consider going with you to another planet. But if we make love at the moment of impact here on Earth, we will burn in the immortal fire of passion, and our souls will be transported to an ideal realm of existence. Oh yeah? Do you know that for a fact? Yes, I do know that. Let's think it over before deciding. For now, let's just walk around and enjoy the morning. Yeah, sure. They walked along the ocean and had a wonderful morning. That afternoon, they decided to drive back to Park Ridge, Illinois. How would you like to drive back to my town of Park Ridge, Illinois? Sure. Okay, let's go. They got into the car and started driving east. The sights surrounding them in the arid desert were both serene and foreboding. Cactus trees and rusty colors seemed allegorical of a birth, death, rebirth cycle. There's nothing like the desert. There's no place on earth like the American desert. I agree, it's both serene and foreboding. When I'm in the desert, I feel confronted by the imminence of death and the promise of rebirth. Me too. Your flowing dark hair looks gorgeous today. Thanks. It's so sad. What is? The fact that the Earth will be struck by an asteroid in 7 years? I agree. Is there anything that can be done about it? There is something that I didn't mention. There is? Yes, let me start, however, by letting you know that if nothing is done, then there's about a 70% chance that the Earth will be struck by an asteroid in 7 years. We can just wait it out and hope that it doesn't happen, but it probably will. What we can do if the asteroid is approaching the Earth is fire nuclear weapons at it in space. That's good to know. First, I would have to tell NASA about it. Don't they already know? No. Only I know. I've been making observations of it and with a telescope that is more powerful than any of NASA's telescopes. I've factored in gravitational effects and have come to the conclusion that the asteroid is on its way to Earth. Part of me thought it would be romantic to just let it happen and make love to you as it happens. I agree. That is romantic. What do you want to do? I'm not sure. Let's just keep driving to Park Ridge, Illinois for now. We can decide by the time we get there. Okay, sure. They continued to drive down Route 66 east. They had a wonderful afternoon. The evening arrived and they stopped at a roadside campground in Nevada to camp out. They walked around the campground, had a deep conversation about the Earth's possible imminent demise, along with more uplifting topics. They had a wonderful evening. In a parallel narrative to this story, the denizens of the underground are meeting that evening at the top of the Space Needle in Seattle. The denizens are also privy to the fact that there is an asteroid on its way to Earth and will strike it in 7 years. In their telepathic communications, they agree that they want to find some of the most beautiful women on Earth and mate with them. To fulfill this, they shall first murder the husbands and boyfriends of these women that have them, and subsequently pursue these women. They decided to start with Seattle. There's a man named Ned Henderson who works as an interior design consultant at a company in downtown Seattle called Modern Homes. He has a beautiful wife named Bernice that they would like to mate with and bring to a newly discovered planet in the Andromeda Galaxy. Ned is sitting at his desk the next morning working on new designs. As he is staring blankly at his computer and trying to get inspired, the door to his office opens of its own volition. A large levitating knife is moving toward him. The door to his office slams shut, and the blade of the knife is thrust back and forth a few centimeters from his face. It is the denizens. They have telekinetically sent this knife to do their bidding. They have imbued this knife with an alien sentience and the powers of propagation. As this knife is thrusting back and forth in front of his face, Ned imagines his whole life passing before his eyes. In one moment, he can envision every moment of his life, the good and the bad, juxtaposed into one moment. Suddenly the knife starts stabbing into his left eye, carving it out of its eye socket and leaving it dangling from its optic nerve like a Christmas ornament. This compromised position of his left eye affords him an unusual perspective from which to view objects. His right eye, which is still in its socket, is observing the blood that is spurting out of his left eye socket. He gets up from his desk and gets bewildered stares in the hallway from some of the employees there. He drops to the floor, screaming in agony and fighting for his life. Meanwhile, on that beautiful morning, Mike and Winona are walking along the ocean in San Francisco. Mike looks into Winona's eyes with the most heartfelt of human passion and love in his eyes as he leans in to kiss her. I love you, Winona. I love you too. Let's just walk along the ocean and enjoy the morning. Sure. Mike and Winona continued to walk along the ocean. They had a wonderful morning. Meanwhile, back at Ned's office, Ned managed to get up off the floor His left eyeball is still dangling by its optic nerve from his left eye socket, giving him a unique visual perspective, not unlike a shifting camera in a movie. With his right eye, he looks out the office window in contemplation of his brutal morning. He sees one of the denizens helping a beautiful woman into a green Corvette. Upon closer inspection, he sees that it is his wife, Bernice, that he's helping into his car. He had apparently seduced her. They rapidly drive off into the morning. Ned runs out to out of the office with his left eyeball flopping all over the place to try to catch them. When he gets there, they're gone. He's so distraught, he decides to stop at a coffee shop to ponder the situation. He walks into Penelope's diner and sits down at a table. In a booth across from him, he sees Mike and Winona talking and smooching. He looks at Mike to speak to him. "Excuse me." "Oh, hey, Cyclops." "Don't call him Cyclops. The poor guy has his left eye pulled out of its socket and dangling by its optic nerve like a Christmas ornament." "Yeah, Christmas is several months away." "They took my wife." "Who took your wife?" "Those hideous gray critters. Do they have huge, light green, protruding eyes and dress in black robes?" "Yeah." "It's the denizens of the underground." All of a sudden, a levitating knife propagates into the coffee shop through the front door. It then proceeds to viciously stab Ned in the back. Blood starts spurting out of him profusely like a volcanic eruption. The situation is so traumatic for Ned, he starts laughing hysterically. It's a human defense mechanism. They all look out the window and see the denizen with Ned's wife. The sidewalk a few feet away from the coffee shop. Front window, they both look at Ned and start laughing. "I'm gonna fucking kill them!" Mike went on to wrap some gauze around Ned's back to stop the bleeding. Ned runs out of the coffee shop in an attempt to catch the denizen and his wife. They're long gone. After a minute or so too is Ned. These denizens must be after people's wives. Yeah. I love you, Winona. When I look deep into your eyes, I am suddenly transported to realms of unmitigated pleasures, so profound that they transcend any physical pleasures that can be had on Earth. These pleasures are further heightened by the discovery of absolute truth. And the fulfillment of our destiny to be together eternally. I feel the same way. Let's take a walk around town and enjoy the rest of the morning and the afternoon. Sure. Mike and Winona walked around town for the rest of the morning and into the afternoon. They had a wonderful afternoon. Thanks for joining me. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks. Bye. I'll see you.